A topic that we don't talk about enough, but that has to be talked about so that we can reach our biggest goals, is how to keep the promises that you're telling yourself. The first thing that you have to do is to understand why this is important. And this is important because you want to be able to trust yourself and to be loyal to yourself so that you can actually accomplish your goals. Keeping your promises and accomplishing your goals, it builds self-growth and confidence. And if your self-growth and confidence becomes bigger, that means that you will be able to allow yourself to dream bigger and to think bigger and to have bigger goals, and it will allow yourself to get out of your comfort zone. If you don't keep your own promises, this will lead to you not taking your word seriously. So the next time you say, for example, I will start working out, your brain is going to think like, ah, here we go again. She's telling me a lie and I'm not even going to try to make it happen because I know that I'm not loyal to myself and the words that I say mean nothing to myself. That's why you have to keep your promises. Because if you don't keep your promises, you will stop trying to accomplish your goals because your words mean nothing to you. So, the first thing that's important to think about when keeping your own promises is to not start too big. And what I mean by this is that if you want to keep your promises, maybe try to start with small promises. For example, every day I would try to go for a walk for 5 minutes instead of every day I will go for a walk for 1 hour. That's a really big jump from not walking at all to walking 1 hour every day. Try to make the goal as little as possible so that it's easy for you to accomplish it and so it's easy for you to keep your promise, at least in the beginning, so that you can teach yourself that you do keep your promises. And this can be easier done by having a goal that's a little bit smaller in the beginning and then it becomes gradually bigger. So start with a small goal and then as the time passes, the goal will become bigger. So maybe for 1 week, you will walk for 5 minutes, and then the second week, you will walk for 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes. This not only builds a habit, but it also makes it easier for you because you're starting with a small goal that is very possible to do and that you will keep your promise to. Next thing is to be as specific as you can so you don't forget about your goals. For example, if you want to walk 5 minutes every day, make the goal very specific. So for instance, you could say like this: every day after lunch, I will go out for a 5 minute walk. Every time that you're eating your lunch, you're going to be reminded that, okay, after my lunch, I have to go for a 5 minute walk. Or for example, you could say, every day I'm gonna go for a 5 minute walk and I'm gonna bring my pink shoes. So every time you see your pink shoes in the hallway, you'll be reminded that, okay, after lunch, I will put on my pink shoes and go for a 5 minute walk. So try to embed it into your daily routine and try to be specific so that you don't forget about it. Be so specific that every single goal you put has a really deep meaning. Because if you just tell yourself that you're going to walk for 5 minutes, that's a goal that every single person has. That's something that you hear on the internet all the time. That's something that you hear now from me. And the best thing you can do is to take your goal and personalize it as much as you possibly can. Make it as personal as you possibly can. Link your 5 minute walk to your pink shoes or to your new workout clothes or to your lunch that you eat every single day. Just try to make it as personal as you possibly can so that your goal feels like your own and so that you don't forget about it. And while we're talking about not forgetting our goals, I want you to keep reminders around your house so that you can't miss it. And one thing that I do is that I put up post-it notes in my room. So I always use like the bright yellow ones or the bright pink once and put it on my desk or maybe on my nightstand so that every time I wake up, I have my goals right in front of me and I cannot miss it. Therefore, I can't miss the actions that I have to take to achieve my goal. So keep reminders around your house, whether it is on your phone or if it's on your desk or in your mirror or whatever, just keep it visible. Keep your goals visible for you so that you don't forget about them. And another thing that everyone talks about, but it's super important to bring up, is to understand that discipline is something that you always have to rely on rather than motivation. Because motivation will come and go. Motivation also teaches you how to just rely on whether you feel like doing something every day or if you don't feel like doing something every day. But discipline teaches you that feelings don't matter when it comes to success. It doesn't matter if you're tired today or it doesn't matter if you don't feel like going for a run because you have a goal to achieve and that goal is waiting for you. You can't take your feelings before your goals. And if you rely on discipline, you will actually be able to form habits. But if you rely on motivation, you won't be able to form habits because When you're forming a habit, you have to do something every single day. The only thing that would actually make you do something every day is if you have the discipline enough to actually go through with that action every single day. And you need discipline for that. You can't always think about motivation. If you're thinking about motivation, someday you will skip it because you're tired or you don't feel like it. And your process to forming a habit will be destroyed because you didn't feel like it. So always prioritize discipline. Think like this: discipline is always, but motivation, it's rarely there. Feelings don't matter when it comes to forming habits that will change your life. And the next thing that you have to do to keep your own promises is to value yourself as high as you possibly can. This is the thing. If you told your boss a promise or if you told your friend a promise, you would 100% keep it. You would 100% keep it. But when you're telling yourself a promise, the most important person in the world for you, you can't even keep the promise because you're not valuing yourself the same way as you value your boss or your friend. I think this comes from a place of being insecure. So if you feel like you're not keeping your promises to yourself, work on being confident as well so that you feel like you have to keep your promises because you love yourself so much that you cannot let yourself down. And also ask yourself what makes you less worthy in comparison to your boss or your friend. You should always put yourself first. So when you tell yourself a promise, keep it as if you're telling your boss a promise. And the last thing I have to say about keeping your own promises is that sometimes you have to be quiet about your goals. Sometimes you have to be quiet about where you want to end up. Sometimes you just have to keep your goals to yourself. And this is the reason. You never know how a person will react to your goals. You can have extreme luck and tell a person that will motivate you and that will make you feel like your goal is literally the best goal in the world. But at the same time, you could be extremely unlucky and tell a person that will disencourage you and that will make you second guess your choices in life and your end goal. So stop telling everyone about your goals and about how you want your life to end up because you never know what person you're telling and how they're going to respond to you. So rather keep it for yourself because you would have never gotten the idea of achieving that goal if you didn't really want it. So stop telling people about it because they can disencourage you. Stay true to yourself and just keep everything that you feel like is valuable for yourself so that nobody else can destroy it. That was all I have for this video. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one.